it like to be on the biggest podcast in the world?
Oh, wow.
This is going to be a shit show. Let's just go with it.
Speaking of shit show, Jordy, you fucking
dog.
You dirty dog.
It really did seem like a shitty situation, and I didn't know if you were gonna feel crappy about it. How did you pull yourself out of the dumps?
I love you, but I fucking hate you.
Do we have to do a finisher change?
Jordy, all this has changed now that Jake is married.
Man, is this the real deal?
I don't think so.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
I think you're really talented as a video creator, but I think you're going bullshit. I was just getting to know you. You were like, hey Jordy, man, I'd love to stay and talk to you, but I haven't fucked this girl in 2 months.
my coach says sex is a misdemeanor. The more you misdemeanor, you get.
I broke it like 2 days before the fight. I've never been hornier in my life. I was like, messed me up in the fight for sure.
Every day we sit down, his face is fucking red. He just sparred, and he's ready to fucking kill somebody.
November 9th now is the only day in my life that matters. There are no distractions. None. I'm not doing anything that I did last fight to prepare for this fight. You know why? Because last fight, I didn't win. I'm a BJJ. I'm gonna do my first fight in the UFC. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna smoke this fucking dude, whoever it is. My goal is to be bigger than The Rock.
We're fresh off the back of the London press conference with Logan, Paul, Jake was there. Mike, you were watching from the side. Do you feel like you won that, Logan?
First off, I gotta say, I'm happy to be back. You've leveled up.
This is it.
Congratulations, Jordy.
This is it. Impulsive meets true Jordy. I love it.
Incredible. Yo, this place is beautiful. I was gonna tell you, your shots are looking more crisp now. What are you shooting in 4K?
Yeah. Shout out to my boys. I've got an amazing team. These
guys are awesome.
Far more intelligent than me.
What's it like to be on the biggest podcast in the world?
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's not as cool as this, dude. We have one cameraman. He's right there, the vegan kid with the gray hair.
He's great.
But damn, dude, you guys got little fucking rails and shit.
Yeah,
the
you
cameras
got
float
shit
on.
moving.
The movement's really good.
Oh my goodness.
And we got a guy on, he does freehand as well, right?
I feel like the interruptions might be...
Oh, mate, this is going to be a shit show. Let's just go with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
speaking of shit show, Jordy, you fucking dog.
Oh, you dirty dog.
You fucking dirty. Half an hour. Can we just do half an hour before? All right. That's
Bro, I just
sicko.
Jordy, I haven't seen you for a minute, and all of a sudden, I found out my guy's a freaky freak.
I mean, wow. This is the thing. This is the weird thing, though. That wasn't even like the thing. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I use like messages as a form of porn. So I might be like, one day I might be saying one thing.
I'm positive you and I have nothing in common when it comes to sexuality.
Mate, I feel sorry for you because I'm having the time of my life right now.
We know.
Now,
as a YouTuber,
now you and I,
as a YouTuber, it's your obligation to take advantage of what God has given you in life, and I'm just doing that.
Yeah.
If you get famous and you don't take advantage of that, you're a fucking pussy. Alright? I'm not gonna look back at this when I'm 50 years old and say, well, I was a good boy and I stuck with one girl like the Sidemen did. No, I'm not. I'm telling you now, no offense, Sidemen.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
So I do, because my best friend Mike is very eerily similar.
This is why me and Mike get on.
When I saw that shit, dude, I was saying to myself, this man is a freak, and
I could have denied it.
Like it.
I could have denied it, though. I could have denied it.
Freak denies. So you actually recognized it, and on the podcast straight away, you were like, I've got my card. I'm like totally with him on this. And I was like, oh, it's weird, Brian.
Freaks recognize freaks.
Why be ashamed of it, bro? If you were in LA, that kind of stuff is highly supported there. Dude, we got a whole industry, man.
Adam 22 messaged me. He goes, dude, like, if you're not, if she's legal, this is not even on the radar in LA.
Oh,
so
hell no.
Like, okay,
bro, you know what Adam 22 does?
Well, yeah.
He literally fucks on camera, dude. Like, it's like...
Yeah, Adam 22. He's like podcasting. We're taking podcasting down, basically.
We're calling it porn casting now. It's a mix.
Joe Rogan's looking at us like, for fuck's sake, can you not?
I don't know if Joe Rogan's looking at
No,
it.
he's not looking at us.
But yo, yeah, no, you're right. You owned it, which we were all curious to see like what you would do, because that was your first. I don't want to say like you didn't get like canceled per se, but there was definitely an outcry.
Oh, people wanted to
an
cancel
attempt.
me for sure.
Okay.
But they don't know what I've been through in my life, and I've been through way more than a fucking dirty message. And the only people surprised by that or the people who don't watch me week in, week out. Because I've been making dirty jokes for 4 years and saying I want to fuck girls in the ass for 4 years now. So if this is surprising to you, then that's
exactly
your
my
problem, though. Do you know what I'm saying?
By the way, the way you handled it was the biggest story.
Yeah, you did great.
You
by the
handled
way.
it like a pro,
Yeah.
dude.
Well,
Like,
you've had your shit. You've had your shit. We've all had it. You
Suck
know what
on
I
the
mean?
shit.
And literally, for me, I had literally.
You went through a lot of
Hey,
shit.
can I ask you a question though? And let's talk about the press conference. But I wanted to ask you a question, man to man.
All right.
Did that affect you at all, and your demeanor, your energy, and your mental health at all?
Well, do you know what I thought, right? This is the honest truth. You came into my head and I thought, fuck me. Like, I'm trending on Twitter because of my sex life. Like, this is crazy. People are actually caring about how I want to fuck a woman. Or not even, just how I want to message a woman. Do you know what I mean? So I thought to myself, like, when so many people come out, because obviously like, depending on what mood I'm in, sometimes I might be dominant, sometimes I might be submissive. I'm a switch. Do you know, I'm a switch. So, and those messages were quite submissive, probably not what people would expect from me. So therefore, it was a bit of like, whoa. But people to make such a big deal about it, I just thought the level of strength that you must have had to get what fucking you went through, because mine was like nothing compared to what you had. I just thought, actually, I now see things from a better perspective. So I did think about you, and I thought, and everyone who goes through this shit, it's such bullshit. Like, the internet isn't real. This isn't real. People's opinions of me aren't real.
You're right.
It's all bullshit.
You're right, but I wanted to ask. I guess I'll narrow the question a little more. It's funny because
He's such a podcaster.
It feels like impulsive.
You're such a podcaster.
It feels like impulsive. This is great.
All right.
When you walk around in public, are you afraid of people saying like, "Yo, you're a freak, True Jordy, like you weirdo"? Or,
Well, you know what it is, right?
The frog might seem.
You know what it is. I've got wounds to prove what I'm capable of in
Fuck
public.
yeah.
So if people want to do that, then let's see what. But it hasn't happened.
Were you nervous today
No.
about any of it?
Not for that. I was nervous because I didn't want to do a bad job, but I wasn't thinking about that because, like, in my head, it's like, I don't know. I never even considered that.
I just wonder if subconsciously you're thinking about how people perceive you and if that's affecting the way you're moving forward now.
Less now.
In the immediate week, I think it would be weird if I didn't think, how are people going to look at me? Because I want to be respected and credible for my work. Like, I want people to think I've got a sick podcast. When people think of True Geordie, I want people to think sick podcast, funny guy, you know, does the press conferences well, interviews well. I don't want people to think he wants girls to shit on him. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not what you want to, but at the same time.
On the list. Yeah.
I mean, I take this with a grain of salt, but in my opinion, you made it cool. Like I swear to God, I love
It's a
you.
stretch,
I
but I
love
like
you.
it.
I love you more now. There's nothing I like more than authenticity.
Yeah.
And
I
the
was
fact
gonna
that
ask
you,
that.
you could double down. I was.
Yeah.
How do you? It really did seem like a shitty situation, and I didn't know if you were gonna feel crappy about it. How did you pull yourself out of the dumps?
I love you, but I fucking hate you. That week, I drunk and I smoked a shitload, and I was like, I'm just going to abandon this right now. So I'm here, but I'm not here. Do you know what I mean?
Is it ironic how they tell you not to do that in times of
Do you know-
stress?
so-
But same, by the way. And I'm like, this is great. I'm not present at all. I'm not present for the next month.
Yeah, I'm here in body, but in mind, I've checked out. I'm on holiday right now. I'll catch you next Friday. So, but you know, people's opinions of you can't. You all had it. You can't let people's opinions of you fucking define you. And at that moment, it felt shit. But I was like, you know what it is.
This is getting annoying. I'm annoyed by him.
He's specifically picking out any word that has anything to do with butts or
I say
ass.
shit a lot as well, which is really annoying.
Have you learned how to like completely push the opinions of others out of your like care factor?
From a teenager, I've never given a fuck what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
So this is nothing new to me. It's just a case of really. So it's one thing saying I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. We all like to say that, but only right. But only when you become when your name becomes a joke. Like you had, like I've had, like other people have had, do you really have to fucking prove that you don't give a fuck?
I have told this to Mike a countless number of times because my man, I don't know if you've noticed, Mike don't give many fucks, much less than me and much less than I ever did. And he's authentic, and that's Mike in real life. He's just like a genuine guy in his I'm gonna do me, and if you don't like it, fuck off zone. But when you come under fire for doing something and it affects who you think you are, who you think you might be, or what you can become, you start to shell up a little bit, and it's tough because that's why I commend you for doubling down. Because now, I'm assuming you're never gonna make a mistake, but now it's gonna be tough to attack your character, knowing that like you truly don't give a
hell yeah. You didn't you never made an apology, right?
No, that's quite deliberate.
No,
in that video.
Right.
Don't say sorry.
That's the thing. I think in this day and age, as soon as you apologize, you lose because that's when they turn the fucking heat on.
And
certain situations.
What it made me realize is how much people love to see the downfall of an online personality. They
eat it alive.
They love
Cancel
it.
culture is like the biggest thing, like because people, there's so like misery loves company. There's so much jealousy and hate out in the world, and so when someone who they've seen succeed like makes a mistake, people love to rip them back down.
You got to own whatever you are in this life, and that's what I do.
Good shit.
We don't do dirty DMs. We don't do them.
I was gonna ask.
We don't do them. That was the
obviously.
base.
What do you mean?
No.
Will you send any more dirty DMs?
None.
But Jake,
you could not
you got
find a
caught
dirty
with
DM
the
from
DMs once or twice.
Yeah, I got
You
caught
got
once or
caught.
twice.
And to be
I was
fair,
drunk both times when I was sending them though.
Right, there you go. That's his excuse.
What did you do?
Oh,
She was fucking hot though. This girl he was
Wait,
DMing.
wait,
I
what
was
did-
like, we got to give him even if she's in a relationship. No, because if you're in a relationship and she's that hot, I've got to give him a pass.
Jordy.
He was a model from the UK. He was going to fly her out. Wow. Sorry, I just
Yeah.
said that. I mean, everyone knew this.
We can just beep all that out.
Why did I
happened.
know this?
What did you Bro, I've been in so many controversy. I was just like, yo, like I was like, I had broken up with my girlfriend like temporarily. And I started DMing girls, and then she put it all over the internet.
Yeah.
And she was down to fly out still after that. Though.
Oh,
But
dude,
like, she
dude,
still was like,
man.
she was still like, oh,
She
like
was
Jake
amazing.
Paul's DMing
She was a
me.
10. You had every right to do that.
Sorry, what?
You know who it was?
No, but I can relate because for some reason after Japan, I felt super like lonely, like a really, really existential sense of like loneliness, and so I started DMing models. Like I
mate.
I DM'd like 15, and like one of them tweeted it, and they're like, yeah, fuck, and it went viral, and I got called out because she had a boyfriend, and it was all that bad stuff, and I don't know. Sometimes you do it for like attention or what, and I've told this story before, but. I mean, she ugly now, so I think I won. I think I won that battle.
Your situation scared the shit out of me.
Quite literally.
I did not even do that on fucking purpose. So look at this message. This girl hit me up. Your fit is kind of turning me on, and I said suits in a short is a vibe, and she said, "You could say it."
to read it?
Yeah.
Your dick in my mouth is a vibe.
That was her response.
Please clip that up,
And,
use
and
it.
Mate,
and
men
as
aren't
soon as
made
I
for
saw
this.
that, I was
Yeah.
like, if I respond to this with, "What are you doing? Come through" or some shit, I'm gonna get exposed.
I'd reply, how do you define vibe?
We're supposed to chase women. When we get into a position in life where men have women just throwing themselves at them, like we're.
But is that new to you? You've had that?
No, mate. Not on the fucking level where 1 million people are watching your shit, and then the
Yeah, yeah,
percentages. Like, so let's think about when I was 18. I'm going to a nightclub. There's 100 people in there. 50 of them are women. Maybe 3 of them want to fuck me. Maybe 2 of them are in relationships already. So that leaves 1 woman. If I'm lucky, that I'm gonna fuck in this bar. Times that 100 by 1,000 or 10,000.
Yeah, 10, yeah.
That's weekly.
Well, now you got that chain.
Yours looks better than mine. Honestly,
90K.
I like that.
90K in the neck, bro.
Yeah.
VVS, bro.
way
Hey,
you're
listen,
doing it.
quick
Must be
question.
nice.
I noticed when I was in the bathroom, you had a lot of moisturizer, and I actually took a picture because I've never seen. These are all, bro. These are all different brands of moisturizer.
Bro, I like.
Why do you have so much
Can I just say,
moisturizer?
I've got to look after myself. Do you know what I
But
mean?
what do you? I mean, you're a big guy, I know, but
Yeah, exactly. That's like one body
That's one
application
body
there.
for-
Just to be
Wait,
clear.
how, yeah, but how
such a
could
cunt.
that
The arms,
dry?
different for the legs.
bro,
fucking
when you
hate
let me use your personal bathroom, I in my head I go, Jordy, trust me.
Yeah.
And then I saw the moisturizer,
Looked
I
at it
go,
instantly.
but I don't trust me, bro.
Right.
I went,
I'm
wait till you see these other pictures.
Can I just say, I'm really glad you didn't look in the other cabinet.
Yeah.
Bro,
That big black dildo's certainly
I
still
wasn't
there.
snooping.
sure
There was
you
just
would.
6
Sure you
bottles of
would.
moisturizer,
Sure you
bro.
would.
Right by the sink. There wasn't even soap,
I
dude.
believe it. Look, you've just had this fucking press conference.
We're back.
All right? You've just done the press conference. How do you feel now when you're? I mean, let's take this back.
Okay.
The night of the fight, the last time I seen you guys. Fuck me.
Was it at that nightclub?
Yeah, we went to the after party.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everyone. You were in a good mood. You had your belt. Everything was great.
Yeah.
I mean, what did it feel like when you actually got home and you realized, fuck, I drew? Like, what was that actually like?
In a way, it was almost as depressing as a defeat would have been like, I feel like. Because 6 months of hard work and 3 months of boxing training was for nothing. Or so it felt. But I found out that the foundation that we had built was such a strong foundation that contributed to my boxing ability now, and it was so necessary. And I think from a macro perspective, me not losing was a big win because that whole year was losses. Everything that I did was an L, a fat L that I took to the chin, and I wasn't used to failing repetitively that grand ever. And so the draw to me was a win because it didn't give everyone the opportunity that they really wanted, which was to cancel Logan Paul for forever, by the way. Because if I had lost, I mean, like, what am I, Joe Weller now?
In our first 2 rounds, I'm ringside. I'm used to, because JJ with Joe, he was in his head. Joe was noticeably like shook going into the ring. With you, the confidence you had for the first fight, I was like, wow. And when you were laughing at him and jabbing his like head off, I was like, holy shit.
Can you say something for us really quick? I've been dying to hear this again since the last fight. Is there any way you could say the following sentence? Oh, he's unloading on JJ. Could you just say it one time?
He's unloading on JJ.
We play that clip all the time.
But no, the thing is, right, I remember talking to Jake in the after party, and Jake went, you know the maddest thing? He only learned how to box properly 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh shit.
I watch every single sparring, and I would like sit there and like try to tell Logan what to do, and like I feel like Logan's the type of person where it's either like 100% like he's getting it or like not. And like 2 weeks before the fight, I was like, this is the first sparring session where like I saw him like move like a boxer. And then like 10 days later was our last sparring session, and then all of a sudden they were fighting. So it's like now this year is like completely different.
That's why, I mean, I think you could probably notice it. I just am walking around with a lot more confidence. Like my chest is puffed out a little more, my chin's a little higher.
Well, you look fucking huge.
Thank
like
you,
when
bro.
I seen you today, I was like, Jesus, this kid's massive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna try to play the tough guy role here like I do sometimes with JJ, like when I'm like, I'm gonna knock you out in round 2. It's just like, there is so much confidence that comes with actual skill. And I had a year and a half to actually learn how to box. Whose fucking idea was it to give me this much time to become an athlete?
You know when you seen JJ going on tour, were you training that whole time?
Bro,
the whole time.
I go, JJ, he announced his tour. I go, yo, time to fucking eat. This is it. Man's gonna be eating fast food. He's gonna be unhealthy. He's gonna be on tour, not sleeping, maybe drinking, smoking, and I'm gonna be waking up at 8 a.m. training every single day because November 9th now is the only day in my life that matters. That's it.
Jake, you've been on tour. What's that life like?
Yeah, I was actually I went on tour after mine and Deji's fight was confirmed. So I was training on tour, but yeah, there's still drinking, there's still smoking, there's long nights, you're sleeping like on a bus like this, like you wake up, your back sore, like you have to exert so much energy to the crowd. So like even if he was training during that time, it's like they're like shitty training sessions. You have to find a random gym in some random city and hope there's a sparring partner there. The food is shitty. Like it's the worst. It was the worst thing. It was really, really difficult to do.
Well, one of the things you said to me on that night, like, because I was just getting to know you as a guy. Like we've kept in touch quite a bit since then. But you know when someone says something, you're like, he's like my kind of guy. You were like, hey Jordy, this was like 4 a.m. He goes, man, I'd love to stay and talk to you. but I haven't fucked this girl in 2 months. And he walks off with Chloe fucking Bennett, and I was like, you know what it is? If you tell me you don't want to talk to me because you want to go and fuck a girl, you are my kind of guy. I like that.
Here's my girlfriend,
Yeah.
and we heard this rumor that if you don't have sex 30 days before your fight, it like builds up your testosterone or something, and it makes you angrier. My coach says sex is a misdemeanor. The more you misdemeanor, you get. And I don't know.
And
Like,
you're still
I'm gonna
not
be
supposed
honest,
to be
bro.
having sex right now.
So-
You're not supposed to at all.
well, the thing about that is definitely fuck that because nah, bro.
Briggs is gonna listen to this. And you're gonna be in big fucking
No,
trouble,
here's
bro.
the deal. Here, Briggs, listen, please, hear me out.
He's an intimidating guy.
Well, you know, when Briggs is every morning going, "Yo, you nut last night, champ?" I'm like, no. Why? And he's like, you can't be nut. You build your batch. I'm like, build your batch. What? King batch?
I'll go into his
No,
room.
wait, listen.
Go.
The theory is I'm not doing anything that I did last fight to prepare for this fight. You know why? Because last fight I didn't win. So why would I repeat any of the shit I did? I'm not changing it up, bro.
Well, you changed from Milton to. I mean, is Milton still involved, or is it?
Milton is involved. He's there every day. Yeah, Shannon just became the head coach, and Milton's like he's not even an assistant coach. It's like a co-coaching thing.
Can we ask you about Shannon then? Because like
People split on him.
people are split, and I've only ever seen him say a handful of sentences, and I mean this like in the most respectful way.
And anyone in specific that stands out?
Not to me.
It doesn't spring to mind, does it, Lawrence?
Maybe to other people. I think he comes across badly in public, but in private, he seems like a different kind of character.
So his podcast with Joe Rogan, he came across amazingly. But then on stage, sometimes, I mean, naturally it's hard to come across well on stage, but he just comes across as a guy
Who gives a fuck how it comes across?
Well,
Here's why I asked. 36, I think 36, 35, 36,
33.
first round knockouts.
He's 33.
Most
Look it up.
knockouts for heavyweight.
Like at the end of the day, like he doesn't say a lot of words. Who cares?
So-
Like, you
so
know what I'm saying?
That, I'm constructing that question basically into what does he do
I know
then
what
that
you're
people
saying.
don't see.
Listen, bro. Look at me. In many ways, am I not the same way? In many ways, when I'm vlogging or on stage, I act and look sometimes like a fucking moron. And like, bro, go on Fox Business and tell them I have pink eye on Fox Business. Did you see that by chance?
Yes.
But that was one of the funniest things.
Well, because you know I'm fucking around,
Yeah.
bro. Everyone's like, yo, this kid's an idiot.
You
Is he on
trolled.
cocaine? I'm just fucking around. But on a podcast, I can speak at length about things. Shannon is smart as fuck. And I'm not saying that because he's my coach. I'm saying that because the amount of time that I've spent with him where I get to like understand how his brain works, it's fascinating.
Very
And
unique.
time again, I go, this is why he's the world champ. He just understands like everything. It's just that, you know, in public, Let's Go Champ is his thing, and I'm sure he doesn't have a forum to exhibit his intelligence.
Why do you think it doesn't come out in public when it's clearly so evident to a lot of people privately? Because he is clearly a strong man. Like he's not somebody.
But like,
great
what are you
about
gonna
people.
say on
I'm
stage?
not saying this from a
when-
critical standpoint. I'm trying to understand like what you guys get.
What are you gonna say on
I
stage?
have the answer, but
What are you gonna say on stage when there's like 3,000 kids going, "Suck your mom, suck your mom"? Like you can't look intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Like it's exactly what Logan's saying. It's like long form versus short form.
I would say this. Everyone has modes. I got my podcast mode. I got my personal mode. I got the vlog mode. I got my hype mode. I got me in training mode. Shannon has his like personal mode. He's got his I'm on stage hype mode, and that comes across as let's go champ, let's go. Like that's his hype mode. And even me, why I can again relate to that is because like let's take two examples right now. LA press conference, today's press conference. LA press conference. Yo, you're a fucking pussy. Where's your brother? Just like kind of being a bully, hype, like angry. Today, bro, I'm just having fun, like kind of chilling out, like making some simple jokes. Like
It felt like you prepared with a mode. That's what Lawrence said before. That he was like, it felt like you constructed this whole thing where you were like, I know what's going to come and I'm ready for it this time. Is that true?
absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Andre actually, because I encourage people in my camp to not be yes men, and I think, I mean, the crew I have around me right now is so strong. And Andre, as we were talking about my demeanor, my attitude, my character for this press conference, we were going through some of the lines I might say. He goes, yo, is there any way you could say it without sounding so childish? And the van kind of got silent. And everyone kind of looked around because, like, you know, like low-key, low-key just insulted the boss. And I'm like, yo, that's fucking tight. You're absolutely right. And Mike's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, he's got a point. Like, what if I can go up there and talk as if I'm on a podcast? Cool, calm, collected, couth, suave, swag. How many
Wow,
synonyms
you really read
can I-
that thesaurus. Fuck me.
Bro, I know words and I love words.
Yeah.
But I have to give a shout out to Andre because even like before the press conference, like he tapped me and be like, "Yo, podcast vibe."
That was me.
So I go up
That
there.
was me.
Huh? You
I
both
said,
did.
I said headphones on.
You
before
did
you
too,
went on.
yeah?
That's nice.
Yeah, you both.
No,
did.
that was
but
me.
like, but
That
like,
was Jake,
But like,
actually.
my boys are done.
I said
for now, currently, letting me look like a moron, and because like similar to Shannon, my hype mode when I grab the mic, start screaming. That's it, bro, and it doesn't come across that well. No. But the podcast version of LP is a little more likable.
Would that actually work? Because I actually thought that you lost the first press conference in the rematch, but I thought you did much better in this press conference.
Thanks, man.
It was totally different. I don't know what did you guys think?
I thought it. I mean, if you look at his body language in both of them, I think he took both of them. But tonight, like, listen, JJ's sitting down, Logan's standing over him, establishing clear dominance. JJ's not making any moves. He's not standing up. Logan's relaxed. He's keeping his comedic approach, that trolling approach that we've seen him do before on Fox News and another podcast, whatever. And I mean, listen, like, he was ready for whatever JJ brought out. He brought out a dog. He had dog treats for him. You know what I'm saying?
Like before it happened.
Were they for JJ?
They were for JJ. Now the kid's predictable, bro. Like I go, well, yo, what would I maybe do? I'd maybe bring out a dog. Why I wouldn't have if I was JJ is just because I am terrified of PETA. And I swear to God, I saw this dog shaking. I'm like, this ain't good. He doesn't even look like Kong. But I brought dog treats. I was like, yo, like, you're predictable. By the way, here's the dog treat. And he hit it out of my hand, bro. I didn't even get to give the dog a treat.
Jordy, right now, looking at these two guys, and you're friends with both of them, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Don't even ask this, bro.
Is there
Don't even ask
a
this.
clear? Is there not a clear thought in your mind as to how this fight's gonna go down? I mean, come on, dude.
Don't
No,
ask
but
him
I
that, bro.
think that the first fight is an indicator in itself especially because you're getting trained by Shannon, like the power, and also I think you've got the physical advantages over this guy. You're longer reach, clearly a stronger man, clearly. And the early rounds, if you're going to put money on it, you put the early rounds on Logan. But to be fair to JJ, and I say this, JJ has this like freaky stamina. He's got weird stamina.
Yeah.
Like the guy, he can run and run and run. It's just weird, especially for his weight. So later rounds, most people are going to say that they think it would go the same way as the first fight. That being said, you've been training a lot longer now. We could be seeing a totally different Logan Paul and a totally different JJ. So I'm just keeping an open mind. Do you know what I mean? And that,
Yep, have respect.
It's scary that, I mean, when we saw you downstairs, and
what was that like
Brian
when I
forgot to shake
seen
your hand.
Logan?
I'm
When we went back in the
That's
dressing
touching you.
room? What was that like when I went back in the dressing room?
Brian went to the dressing room and he just sat down and went, fuck me, he's huge. And I was like, wow.
Oh, well, he's like me, but without the fat.
I don't know why, but last time, I know it's weird to say this, you didn't seem as tall. You didn't seem as big. And then this time when you two were chatting, I was like, wow, you're as wide as Brian, and you're almost as tall as Brian. And I guess there's a different presence. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, because it's been like a gradual thing, but
it's mostly in his confidence. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like Jake said last time before the fight, he had just finished up learning how to fucking box 2 weeks earlier. You know what I'm saying? Or like a month earlier. Right now, he's been boxing in fight mode for a year.
Do you
Like, the
guys
dude's
need
ready
drinks,
to
by the
go.
way? Sorry,
do you want some actual drink?
Do you want
some
a
water?
drink or
What do
anything?
you want?
I would
There's,
love some
juice and
water.
stuff. Yeah.
Water?
I can't drink
Let's sort this
alcohol.
out because we got loads of shit there. so.
Mike's we've been sober for a minute. Mike's doing it with me because that's my boy.
60 days. I had some girl the other day. I was at the club and she was telling me that it could all be mine if I could just take a shot. And I was like, can you fucking stop? I was like, I can't do it. And they're like, why are you not drinking for someone else's fight? I was like, because that's the other thing. Like, there's been a lot of this, like, there's been a lot of talk between the Sidemen and our camp on this one, and between JJ and our camp, and like a lot of back and forth on the podcast and this and that. And like, obviously, I've never met any of them. I don't have any issues with them, but like, they've called me a yes man so many times, and like he'll tell, bro, like
They call him
a walking tongue, a walking yes. Bro, the amount of times me and him fight on a daily basis about shit, like I am the only person who tells him absolutely fucking not.
I want everyone to know that I hate Mike.
Literally.
I
like,
hate
bro,
him.
do you know how many times I have to go in?
It's amazing how eerily similar our relationship.
Really? Is that how you are?
Well, like, I guess like I also get sick of hearing like, "Oh, you're Brian's bitch" or whatever as well. When it's clearly like we're our own people, and if anything, like, would they really be in the positions they're in without us?
Yeah, I mean, our teams, he couldn't have fucking girls over, and start blow your cover, but he had a girl over the other day, and I went upstairs, and I said, you have to fucking leave before the fight cam gets here, and he was like, rah, 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 rah. I said, get up, get your shit, and get the fuck out before Shannon Briggs comes here, and everybody's in fucking trouble. And so, like, I have to be that guy that fucking does shit that he doesn't want me to do. You know what I'm saying? So
Going back to girls.
oh shit.
When I met Chloe Bennett, I was sort of taken aback by her. I've never met anyone like her. She said to me about the podcast that we did, like, that was really great, so special. Like, she just had a way about her, and I thought in my head, this is the fucking girl this guy needs to stick with. She's going to be the best thing for him. So when you split up with that girl, I was like, oh shit. Like, as a friend, you know, I don't want to know the full ins and outs and that, but like, how is it being going from you seeming like this is the best thing, and then all of a sudden?
It's a great question. Chloe's a gem. That girl's one of a kind. She's what we call a unicorn, like a one-of-one. She just had a movie that came out. It's called Abominable. Go check it out. It's a theater now. Got you, Chloe.
Fair fucks.
Hey, got you, Chloe. But if I'm being honest,
You loved her.
oh yeah,
I'm sure you still do.
Still do, by
I
the
know.
way. Still do. We FaceTime from time to time. She's a friend now, and I can say that without feeling like there's strings attached or anything more than just like pure unconditional love and friendship. Like, and I'm blessed to be able to have a person like her in my life. Yeah, but I will say, no offense to Chloe, I will say, being single this fight, I've noticed it is so crucial and important, and I love every second of it because all I can do is focus on
Tunnel
this fight.
vision.
Tunnel
Yeah.
fucking vision, bro. There are no distractions, none. And last year I remember it being hard to balance this relationship and this fight because, bro, like these guys will tell you when I'm in training camp, especially after sparring sessions, yo, my testosterone's raging. I am a bull in a china shop. I'm pissed. I snapped on Danny a couple times, like my assistant. Like everyone in the house is just like, yo, like what? Mike tells me the other day, he's like, yo, can we just please, like, after this fight, after you beat the shit out of this kid, can we like please not talk about fighting for like two months?
It's just like think about us, how like lighthearted we are, and we sit on the podcast every day. We sit down, we make dick jokes. We have a great time. We just make people laugh. And right now, dude, every day
Very
we sit.
serious, isn't it?
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, every day we sit down, his face is fucking red. He just sparred, and he's ready to fucking kill somebody, bro. All he wants to do is just eat, dude. That's it.
I get mad too as well. Didn't you and Chloe? Didn't you guys hook up like a couple of days before the fight as well?
No, because Shannon.
Are you sure?
No,
Milton.
Positive.
He held off.
Positive. Yeah.
He was certain of that on the night in the nightclub. He was like, hey, fuck this girl in months.
Yeah. Well, I remember also because Erica, who was dating Jake at the time, came around the same time Chloe came, and Jake came. Jake came.
I did like
He
literally.
broke the fucking night before the fight.
I broke it like 2 days before the fight. I've never been hornier in my life. I was like,
But it's a.
I remember I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed in him.
I think it messed me up in the fight for sure.
But it's a whole
He would have
different.
finished Deji 2 rounds earlier if he hadn't have
Facts.
Bro, why'd you break?
Well, I couldn't control myself. Like I've never like been like had that much like.
I call it fiending.
Yeah, like
Fiending, bro.
I literally like
shaking
grabbed
and
her
shit.
and I like was like I like threw her and like I was like threw her
Sounds
on
like
the bed
abuse.
and like I was like going true
Sounds like
Jordy.
domestic violence in a way.
I was going true Jordy.
Crazy.
Let's get that looked into because that sounds terrible.
Since I last
He's like, I grabbed her
through the wall.
I threw her through the wall. I put duct tape over her mouth and put her in the river.
But Jordy, all this has changed now that Jake is married.
Mate, since I last seen you, it is all changed. A lot of people are still questioning, like, what is this real?
We were skeptical when we first saw the
What is going on
relationship.
here? Is this the real deal?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Dude,
What a shit answer.
Let's go.
I'd say it's real enough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm like the best bullshit spotter in my life, but like,
You've seen a lot of shit.
Have
let's
you-
put it that way.
Have you ever gone shopping with a girl before to get hummus?
I really hope I know
is
where
that
this is
what
going.
is that what we said? Why are you asking that?
That's where the bar is set
saying.
nowadays.
This is where you're at in life now. You want to get hummus? Is that what
I'm married, and we go shopping for hummus and carrots.
What kind of hummus do
What
you
the
like?
fuck are you doing?
Sabra.
Just straight up, like just straight
the
up
roasted
hummus, or
red pepper one.
lemon and coriander special.
Hummus is great.
I keep seeing tweets about like she's not on birth control anymore. We're trying. Like,
Yeah, that's what
I mean,
yeah.
you're triggering people left, right, and center here.
At the end of the day, I'm a troll.
How far is this gonna go, though?
I'm a troll, and
You're like
A married
6'9"
troll.
at this point. Like, this could go too far. Do you know what I mean?
She's not part of the Trey Bloods. Like this girl's not going.
I'm just worried
You
because
gonna kill someone
you
for me,
control
Jakey?
to a point where no one knows what's true and what's not true.
I think I'm at that point.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sat here right now with like no
You
idea.
like Vladimir Putin?
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the wedding, by the way. I saw it go down. And by the way, the wedding was very real. There was a fight that broke out
I
during
seen
the
that.
vows, and
It was very WWF or WWE rather.
I mean, me watching it,
Wildlife fun.
seemed real enough. I mean, they had Priest Azadi come out and took the guy out, and
That guy.
it seemed pretty fucking realistic to me.
Did it feel, so how does it feel? Does it feel any different now you're married?
No, we kind of have like an open relationship.
Kind of. The gasps in the room right now. I really hope the mics are picking them up. The gasps. We kind of have an open relationship.
Does that? How does that feel for you?
I think it's great. I think it's the best thing that anyone's ever invented.
I can't tell. So you're his
Someone
brother.
came up with the idea one day. They're like, "Wait a second, you can be
Who
with
suggested
somebody."
it first, you or her?
What? Getting
Open
married?
relationship.
Oh, I think it's always I think it was like mutual type of thing.
So you both at the same time.
I think
went, "We should have an open
we're in
relationship."
love with as like emotionally. I think it's less physical.
You remind me. You're
We should
like
have an open relationship.
No, but like this is the thing, Jake.
Start a family channel.
I'm just going to be honest. I think you're really talented as a video creator, but I think you're going down a road that's like bullshit. Like, and I don't mean this as an attack. Like, I think you're so fucking talented, and I look at you going down this male Kardashian route, and I'm like, oh mate, you're so fucking talented. Like, some of the videos you've made in the past, I'm like, I wish I was as good as this dude. Like, and he's fucking way younger than me. Like, and now you're going down this like chasing fame route when you've already got it.
In what way though?
You've
in what
already
way?
got fame.
Like
You've
making
already-
videos with Tana, you're saying?
No, but like just the general like state of mind of anything for publicity. Any publicity is good publicity. Is like, well, you're Jake Paul. Like you got that now. How about let's do some great content because you are fucking capable of that. And I'm not saying that as a cunt. I'm saying that as like, I actually am a bit of a fan of what you've done in the past. Not all of it, but like you are
Thank you.
fucking talented, dude. And
Yeah,
I just
thank
sometimes
you.
watch your videos and think, this guy's capable of like the best on YouTube at times. Even when you were the wild motherfucker when you were young and you were driving a motorbike into a pool, I was like, this guy, I fucking like what he's doing. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But now I just feel
So what?
like
But what content specifically are you saying? Like stuff with Tana, or
I don't know. Like I feel like going
because I
down-
haven't been posting much recently.
Yeah, but
anyways.
you went down a road which seemed to be like
Oh, are you talking
all
about
for
Team 10
publicity
Uncut?
for kids watching, and you're getting older and you're like just you're growing out of that and it feels like you're forcing
100%. No, so it's this weird transition phase
Yeah.
that I've gone through in like the past 4 months, where it was like I stopped posting every other day. There was a point I was posting every other day,
Yeah.
and it took me a month. There was like a month period where I was posting every other day, and I was like, this like feels weird, but I'm like still doing it because I'm so used to it, and I've been doing this for 4 years now. And I had to mentally be like, wait, I don't like this. This isn't me. I'm growing up, and I have to like change exactly what I'm doing. And I explained this on a recent podcast. But you're right. It's like it was this Disney like doing shit for kids, like doing clickbait, like YouTubey stuff, just to get views. And I was like, I had to realize like, yo, fuck this. This isn't who I am anymore. And I think it's a weird thing to go through, and that it's the phase that I'm like emerging out of right now, like being myself, aging up, doing videos with like higher quality content, and not just like YouTube shit just to like get views.
What should he do? Should he go back on the dirt bikes and shit? You think?
No,
No, it's not that. It's like
every day, Jake.
Every day, bro.
Like when
Channel flow?
the video come up, like at the start of the video,
Yeah.
I'll be like, what the fuck is this guy gonna do today? Like there was a bit of me that was like,
Brian was like, oh, this is great.
I don't really watch YouTubers like that, but I was like, I was actually watching you.
That's actually quite a big compliment, because normally he lies about it, but today he's literally like, actually watch the content. It's like, normally we walk in and go, love your stuff. Yeah.
No, but I just mean like, back in the day, you were headed down a certain road, and I feel like you just got sidetracked by, I don't know, maybe the fame and all the rest of it. But like, you don't have to chase that. You're Jake Paul now. Everyone knows who the fuck you are.
I think the sidetrack that you think it is my strategy to age up. It's like things like being with Tana, for example. Like, I never showed like my true personality in that aged up side until it was on her channel. And her fans like, whoa, we've never seen this side of Jake. Wait, oh my gosh, I actually like Jake. Like 20, 22-year-olds, 24-year-olds being like, yo, this kid's like actually cool. And then it clicked in my head like, why don't I do this shit on my channel? And I think it's because it was like, oh, YouTube AdSense, like you're gonna get demonetized. And then I started realizing, okay, I don't give a shit if I get demonetized anymore. It's like, and then that's the phase I've been in for the past 5 months, like making music, aging up, like going sidetracking from like the Disney Channel Jake Paul that everyone's so used to.
By the way, I like that. That was actually a good song.
I also like I'm Gonna Knock Joe Weller Out. I thought it was a really good.
That was awkward. That was so awkward.
It was
when
awkward.
You punched Joe Weller all over, and then he was in the video. I'm like, oh my god.
I asked him how he got Joe Weller to be in his own diss track. It didn't make sense to me. Was that before you knocked him out or after?
It was after he voluntarily did it.
Joe's a good
I like
kid.
that.
Joe's a real good kid, but like,
I love Joe.
I think there's a part, you know, when you talk about accepting whatever's happened and just owning it.
Yeah.
He just did that at that time, but I just don't think it was the right.
I've been a fan of Joe for a minute. Ever since he did the WWE into the pool.
Yeah.
Like,
He's one of our most talented guys. Really. What is going on there? So you're gonna with Tana? Is this the real deal?
Do you think getting married like made you see outside of the circle that you had? Like you looked outside of your immediate people and you were like, oh, this is how other people see me. Maybe I need to go more down that.
He didn't take the easy path, which was start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the best thing this kid ever did. You know what I'm saying? It took him out of the realm of, you know, Good Morning Low Gang, what's poppin', and that side of him that people were like, who the fuck is this kid and why does he always have that personality on? And sat him down and gave him 2 hours a day to talk about who he really is and real shit and cultural shit and in the news shit. And so like that wasn't the right fit for Jake, but I think that was what allowed Logan to go and age himself up was a falsehood.
this is the most important sentence I'll say today. I think people underestimate the power of routine. And when you're caught in a routine of daily vlogging or like going on a Disney show every day, for me, anecdotally, daily vlogging was the thing that made me become this, you know, exaggerated version of Logan Paul, which is why when I say sometimes when I get hyped, that comes out because it's so easy for me to go there because it's what I knew, and every day, you know, 5 to 7 million views, and people like this, like it's skewed as a much younger audience, but trying to come out of that routine of like the vlog character and then adapt it into the podcast, which is what I've done, has been such a blessing for me because, again, being able to talk at length and like articulate my thoughts, not like a moron, is the greatest thing ever. And it has forced me to evolve as a human in my personal life because I can do that now.
You made a fucking great decision when you picked a real dude like him. How did you meet him and why did you pick him?
It's the weirdest thing ever. This is so weird. I heard about these giant bean bags called love sacks.
Did someone get me a drink?
I heard about these giant bean bags called love sacks, and I knew I had to have one, so I went into the store, and I'm like, hey, like I do social media. Is there any way I could like get in contact with someone, like maybe doing a post in exchange for a bean bag? They're expensive, like $1,500. And this is when I was doing Vine, so like I had some money, but like I don't know, I'd rather do a post. They got me in contact with the marketing manager or whatever, some dude named Mike. So I start texting this dude, and like I like to test people, like gauge them a little bit, like their personalities and whatnot. He seemed like funny on text, so he sent me the love sack, and I was like, hey, these are great, by the way. Like, can you fuck on them?
my dick. My
And he
penis is
sent me a
itchy.
text back like, actually you can, and they're machine washable, so get to coming, buddy, or something.
You can watch the come right out of
You
it.
can watch it come right out of it. I was like, this guy's great.
And we started with that, and then after that we did a couple like excursions together. Like we did Sundance. we did
Yeah, I
some
remember
shit.
Sundance. That's the
Yeah.
first moment I met you. You
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
into my room, I think while I was changing, and you guys just started yelling.
We did not have a good first. Me and Jake
Yeah.
had a horrible first meeting. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was at the house.
At his house at Sundance, and it was him and the two twins that he abused. What were their names again?
Fucking hell.
The
Emilio
Montclair
twins. Yes.
Emilio twins.
And I walked in, and he was, and this was at the height of his, like,
When he was beating up all the kids.
beating up all the kids, complete asshole. And I was like, yo, what's up, man? I'm Mike. Good to meet you. And he was like, yeah, whatever. And something happened. Oh, I told you a good trail that I found that I skied that day. And you were like, do you even fucking live here, bro?
Oh, that was so. That was the first thing he said to you.
I go, no, I don't live here, but I skied today. And I was just like, what the fuck just happened? I was so bad.
Yeah, so I poached Mike from Lovesack, and now he's on the #1 podcast in the world. He's my roommate. He's a great guy, eh?
You've had a fucking interesting life.
Itchy
Like,
penis.
There's a lot of things
Check.
that people don't know about you.
Yeah.
You've had battles with drugs and all sorts of shit.
Yeah, man, I was in the shit for 10 years, bro. I was living on the streets, bro. Like living on people's couches. I slept in trunks of cars. Like I've seen a lot of shit. I've been on fucking operating tables 5-6 times. Like almost died a bunch of times and buried a lot of good friends and been through the court systems, been through the jail, so like all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so
This is a hell of a story, though, for considering
I got a
where
book
you've
coming
been.
out. I had a book coming out in January. The whole thing. Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called. I haven't told
Don't say it.
All right.
All right.
Soon enough, I'll be able to
Right,
tell it.
we're
but
going to keep an eye out for that.
Often,
I'd love to do a podcast with just you when we talk.
I'm down as fuck. Bro. I'm down as fuck.
Y'all would
Can
definitely
we get
find-
Logan out of here? Sick.
Guys,
we don't
come on,
want those
please.
dudes.
I find
This
often
franchise boring.
people who are as cool as Mike and as special as Mike is as a human, like again, I'll refer to him as like a unicorn, like a real one-of-one type guy. So fucking funny, dude.
As a unicorn. I don't know why that
As opposed to like what
No,
some
but
other
you just
creature.
say shit sometimes where you're like, Chloe fucking Bennett, she is my gem. Like you
No, I
speak
said
about
she's a
when
gem.
you love someone, you go like over.
Well, yo, these are my people.
I like it. I like it. I can laugh though.
So because of the immense amount of adversity that Mike has gone through, that's the reason he is the way he is, and he's such like a likable guy to 99% of people. But he's been through so much shit, and he's come out victorious. Like he should have died like 10 times, and he's being like humble right now. But this book is gonna be. Personally, I can't wait to read it. Like I'm Mike's biggest fan. Have you seen The Night Shift?
Yeah,
Have you
oh,
seen
yeah.
his show? It's the greatest program on YouTube. I'm sure this show's great.
How come
too.
you get all the porn stars, bro? This is pissing me off. I'm kind of jealous of you.
Because I just went that way with it. You know what I'm saying? Like we live in LA. Like these dudes have fucking cash. They're good-looking dudes. Like they could have gone that way too. They just chose not to. They're good kids. Like
What does the cash have to do with
They
it?
went for the
I'm just saying. I mean,
Nah, you
went
need
for the
cash,
bottom.
bro. You get clout. Clout is all you need.
whatever the case, we had Riley on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I've
and as
seen
soon as that happened, it set off for me, being an addict, a chain reaction of the desire to fuck every porn star that exists in the fucking world. And I'm doing pretty fucking good. To be honest with you, I'm moving along pretty well.
Mike tells me stories all the time. I'm like, bro, you're literally like a little kid again.
Literally, bro, I feel like a little kid in a candy store. I showed him a video to. Well, but honestly, like for me, it has the potential of just becoming another vice for me. You know what I'm saying? Because like, yo, that world is just as fucking can be just as dark and scary as drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Would you be in a porno?
I've talked about it being.
Don't you lie.
I've talked about it being a fallback, and I've definitely shot my share of videos, so I'm not like against it. But right now, the direction of where I'm going with like the book, with Impulsive, with the Night Shift, with all the things that are going on, I don't think that I'm going to be doing any Adam 22 type shit.
You keep
anytime soon.
talking about brands a lot on Twitter. You seem business savvy. You seem be switched on.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the reason I joined Logan to begin with was to be part of the business team, and so I joined on to help recover Maverick, and then bring Maverick back to a place where it was in the trajectory that it was in prior to Tokyo. And so some of those things that me and him enacted right as soon as I started was a review process. He should have had a review process prior to Tokyo. If he had a team around him at the time that was paying attention to shit, that video never would have gone out. So the first thing I did when I got there, I said, we got to set up a review team. And now we have a review team. Do we need it anymore? No, because he's gotten a lot smarter and a lot wiser and a lot, more educated. But I try to base everything that I do in business because I have a long background in business history. And so that's what I was originally supposed to do. And then as soon as I joined the team, we started a podcast. He was like, why don't you sit in on the podcast? And we sat down and we were like, yo, it's the
My
best
heart's
fucking
beating
thing
you,
ever
bro.
happened.
Sure, it's the greatest. It's the #1 podcast in the world.
I mean, debatable. Well,
Depends which continent you're on.
Looking at stats, it's
in
not
America, we'll
It's
give
an algorithm.
Yeah, in America.
We're talking analytics. You can't debate it.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Because I think this is the most interesting thing in the world.
It's a #1 podcast.
It's not, though.
Okay.
Joe
here's-
Rogan shits on you from a great
Bro,
height.
you're not even.
You have to bring it back to the shit.
on, hold on.
People get into Jordy.
Joe Rogan?
What name is it?
Joe Logan Paul
Joe
podcast,
Rogan. He is
Joe
the god.
Logan.
Listen,
Joe Logan Paul.
I'm question.
I think this is a bigger discussion
Jake,
here.
the core question is, what is your metric for success?
Okay, I've got one.
If the metric is stupid things such as viewership, money, those kind of things,
Respect.
then yes, respect, whatever.
I'm joking.
Then maybe yes, Joe Rogan is the #1 podcast in the world. In terms of viewability, overall looks, porn star factor. Yo, I don't know. It just depends on what your metric is.
I just think
why?
No, here's what we're doing, bro. The majority of 16 to 20, I'll say 24-year-olds.
Fuck that. I'm bringing them with me.
I would
28.
28. I was gonna say that. I went 24. I'll say 28. 16 to 28-year-olds. I would argue the majority of them are not consuming podcasts as the content that they like to digest. We do a good job of bridging the gap, the liaison between listenable, digestible content in audio form because it's not as fun as video, and actual value. And we try to bridge that gap, make it fun but provide education, edutainment. We call it educational entertainment.
I hate that.
I mean, look,
Ability to bullshit is fantastic, though. But I agree with you.
Jordy,
Entertain.
do I look like
No,
I'm
but
bullshit?
edutainment is a bullshit word, though, dude. You've got to admit that is.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on.
I agree.
We brought Riley on the show. One of our most viewed episodes. That episode was very fun. It was informative, right? Not long thereafter, we brought Alex Jones on the show.
Right. Yeah,
Not long thereafter,
you know
we
what?
brought Ben Shapiro on the show. And so we walk a very, very
Throwing a
fine
fire
line.
here.
And by the way, when everybody else asked Shapiro, what are the core differences right now between the left and right, and how are we going to solve it? I've heard that answer 40,000 times. I want to know what motherfucking cereal he eats at night.
It's
and
Crispix.
It's Crispix.
Yeah.
You could have guessed, by the
Yeah.
way.
And that's
we had
what,
a
like,
billionaire,
I would've been plain
Tillman Fertitta, on the other day. The versatility of our podcast is unparalleled. That cannot be matched. Can I ask you a question,
Well-
bro? Yo, my own selfish reasons, I'll stroke my ego a little bit. You think I'm the most versatile entertainer on the planet?
Clearly never seen Robbie Williams.
I agree. You're versatile. You are versatile. I'm versatile. I'm
Sorry, you putting yourself
You're
forward
putting
as a
yourself
Yeah, number one.
Jordy, what is
Number, no, because
You
the
need
thing
that
is,
win.
I don't
You
have
need
the
that title
advantages.
November 9th.
I don't have the advantages you've got, but I've done all right in the UK. I'm pretty.
You playing the race card?
I don't have. He's white privilege.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand my struggle.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
That's a really good point. Who's the best guest you guys have ever had on? Like, in terms of...
Great question.
Yeah, that's why I asked it.
I like this guy. I had an answer. I really loved both Eric Griffin and Andrew Scholes, the comedians.
That guy is so funny.
He is amazing, and it's they don't necessarily pull in the most views because it's
Yeah.
not like a YouTube centric like clickbaity title, but I mean comedians are incredible to have on your podcast. Talk about just a good old fashioned
Because they're
time.
contemplating life all the time to try and find the funny in it. So they're actually thinking about what the fuck is going on.
Well, and there's so much overlap with the conversation that they bring to the table right now because cancel culture is so fucking hot right now, especially in LA. And so when they come to talk about cancel culture, they're talking to someone that was more involved in that culture than anyone else. And so the overlap there is instantaneous and really like palpable.
Question for as a podcaster though, you're constantly trying to find the juiciest conversation on a daily basis. You're trying to make interesting conversations happen. Do you know when you're not doing that and you're just shooting the shit with like regular people? Do you find it more boring than before?
I'm never bored. If me and him are in the conversation together.
No, I mean when you're just talking to regular people and you're not on, so you're not interviewing all these interesting people and you're not driving the conversation to make it the most interesting, and you're just shooting the shit with some average Joe. Do you ever find yourself going?
You're saying in real life?
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself just going? God, I was doing something so much more interesting than this yesterday.
One has up to 60 seconds to captivate me, and if they're not, I'm not giving you my energy. I'm just not. Like, this shit is too precious. Your energy is your currency, dude, and if I find a conversation is draining me, like, especially now, like in fight mode, I'm out.
That's harsh on an Uber driver, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Bro, yo, if I'm in an Uber, I'll give you 60 seconds, but after that, like, I need to get to work. I'm putting in my AirPods, and I'm doing emails. Like, I'm just at that point where, like, low-key no new friends, dude. Like, I got a circle, and I'm not really interested in trying to make
I agree. I've mastered ending conversation.
Look at his tattoo.
Oh, I hate small talk.
Great.
That's actually just what he holds up to the Uber driver.
No, I literally go like this.
That's why he got it there.
Obviously, with all the controversy you've been through, to me, with the views that you guys are pulling in, with the names you have, you should have brands fucking all over you. What are the big brands fucking with you yet? Like, because to me, you're about to fight in one of the most watched fights in the calendar year. And KSI, the last fight was huge. You know, Nike, Adidas, because of all the shit that's gone on, are they interested in you yet?
There's a couple answers to this question. I want to break it down. So, one is yes, some big brands are interested in working with us. Two, we're a bit hesitant sometimes because if it's not organic, I won't do it. I'm not fiending for money. I don't necessarily need that bag anymore.
We've seen the Forbes list.
That's what I'm saying. So I like. So if I'm not working with a brand that I don't need to, I'm not going to do it. And I think third, building your own brand, i.e. Maverick, for me specifically, is so much cooler than selling out to Nike or Adidas.
That's what you're just seeing at the macro level in LA right now. Brand deals are like mid-level and below. Every big influencer right now is building a brand. Is building a brand that they can somehow monetize.
Yeah.
Whether it's through
those makeup guys, mate. I feel like I fucked up in being a man.
If you're Jeffree Star or if you're James Charles, I mean, you made it.
Yeah.
They are.
Well, mainly Jeffrey though, because like James didn't build his own brand.
Right. What about the makeup palette? It's not his brand.
He gets profit shares, but not
How
equity.
you know the literal.
Because I wanted one. I wish I tried to get a James Charles palette.
Dude,
He just gets profit sharing though, not back end equity though. Jeffrey built his own brand.
Yes! Come on!
Because he's gonna
Come on, man!
for $1 million.
You know what's cool?
Hey,
You know
big
what's-
up
you know
True
what's
Geordie,
super cool?
helping me out with the podcast.
$1 million brand deal.
Did you do it?
Hey, who?
You done it.
Who? Bust a nut. Hey, bust a nut. Hey, ooh. I'm so gassed.
He's been here the whole time.
I'm so gassed, bro. I'm so gassed. Oh.
You're done. You can just quit the game now.
I can
Just
fucking.
leave.
I know it's not November, yeah, but I'm busting one out after that one.
Yeah, man.
That is-
Celebrate.
Oh.
Was it because of the anime and the big tits?
Oh no, I was watching well, I wasn't watching, I was listening to a podcast and I was interested in that, mate. Oh.
Did you win? Is that why you're making the noise?
Yeah, I beat it. Thank fuck, man. Oh.
Good job.
Where's my emblem?
Yeah, wear that shit with pride.
It's in the fucking...
Now you gotta do it on your other character. I heard it's really easy on your warlock.
Yeah, you get the battle, bro. You do it with him. Fuck it.
Yeah.